Are you someone who feels like no matter what you do all day, you are constantly cleaning, picking up, organizing, putting things into place, and it feels like this never-ending cycle? Well, let me tell you, I felt like that was me a couple years back, and with littles and homeschooling and a schedule that seems to be getting busier every single year, and someone who really holds on to the verse that says for us not to store our treasures in heaven, I felt so conflicted because with one moment and one instant, I really wanted to take care and tend for my home. But then on the other side, I was like, I just don't justify or see myself with my kids in my home and me spending so many hours cleaning and decluttering and doing all these things when I know they're just so little. I'd much rather spend that time with them. So in today's video, I'm going to just give a little wisdom as to some tweaks that I've made over the years to make taking and tending for my home work for me versus me constantly working for my home. And so my first little tip is to create a house schedule. I think sometimes and this works for everyone. You can be a stay-at-home mom, you can be a working mom, whatever you do, creating a schedule is so important. I think more people should understand that we should run our homes like businesses. If we all saw us as the CEO of our home, the boss of our home, and we ran it like a business, it would be so much smoother. And so I've changed my mindset to establish my home as my business. And so I set a set amount of hours that I'm going to do each thing. And so I schedule everything down to the monthly things that need to be done, weekly things that need to be done, and then daily things that need to be done. And so if you haven't taken a second, this is so quick to do. If you haven't taken a second to do this, I highly suggest it, because sometimes we just look around and we're like, wow, there's literally a never-ending list of things to do. For example, my monthly schedule has things like going through the kids' clothes, maybe cleaning out windows, just like random little things, cleaning the couch cushions. My weekly schedule has things like cleaning out the fridge, doing the bathrooms, vacuuming, dusting, and sometimes decluttering. And then I have it down to the daily tasks for me, which are always just include vacuuming, doing the dishes, a load of laundry, maybe a couple other random little things here and there. But I know exactly what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. And to me, having this schedule just makes it seem so much more manageable and easy to maintain. And so I have a blog post. I actually should update this blog post because I have tweaked things just slightly. But look at your husband's schedule, look at your kids' activities, and plan this accordingly to that schedule, because I personally make my lighter days that my husband will be working really late, or if you have an activity on a specific day. And I also make sure to follow a really heavy day, like the days that I vacuum and do the bathrooms. The next day are followed just by me doing an extra load of laundry to clean towels. So make it work for you. Work smarter, not harder. Figure out a good flow and a rhythm. I'll have that blog post linked down below. The biggest changes I made this last year was create myself a nice little cute cleaning caddy. I found that anytime I had to clean the bathrooms or do anything of that sort, I was probably spending at least 5 minutes just collecting all the items that I needed. And so I made myself a little caddy. I'm showing you really quickly what I have. I have a DIY tile cleaner. I have these vinegar wipes that I use for cleaning the toilets. I have a glass cleaner, tile spray, a multi-surface spray, and then I think that is a bathroom spray. I can't remember. The labels are too small, but I keep every little spray that I will need in here, and then as well as my tools. So when I clean the toilets, I like to do disposable things. You will not catch me cleaning a toilet with things that have to be washed. I feel like that's so disgusting. I have a little toothbrush scrubby thing, a very large scrubby head thing, and then this shower head. Because my showers don't have hoses, this is what I put to be able to like quickly and effectively clean out all the water. I also keep trash bags with me. Microfiber cloth, I love these, and then super absorbent towels. I'll link all of these things down below. Having these are a game changer. I don't use paper towel because I find that it's just so wasteful and you go through so much. And then I also have a normal sponge, a magic eraser, and then a copper scrubby thing that I tend to use in the bathroom. And then lastly, I have my gloves. I have 2 pairs of gloves in here because sometimes I end up getting so much water in my gloves that my hands still get soggy. So I have 2 pairs in here just in case. I love this cleaning caddy. It's fabulous. I just restocked it with a couple of things that I ended up getting from Thrive, and they are sponsoring this portion of today's video. So thank you to Thrive for working with me. I have a really great code for them at the end. But this is a company that I use a lot of my cleaning stuff from. I love using companies that have vinegar. And so Rosie's and the Auntie company are like one of my favorites. And I get them from Thrive because I end up saving so much more money than if I went to a normal grocery store or got them like online somewhere else. And it's fabulous. I find so many great brands and companies that normally I would spend so much money on, and they have deals and sales running at all times. And I love hopping on there just to see what they have, especially for my staple things. And if you are someone who's doing Whole30 or paleo or diet, you can go onto Thrive's website and pick your items based on your diet. And so it's great. Like, I absolutely love it. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get 30% off your first order and a free gift worth up to $60. And so thank you to Thrive for working on today's video with me. I kind of alluded to my second point earlier in the video, but if you haven't done this in a while, this is my second point that I highly suggest everyone start off the new year with, and that is decluttering your space down to every single cabinet and drawer. And if you are on Instagram, you probably have seen there are thousands of accounts right now who are like decluttering accounts that are running and helping people do exactly this in like 30 days or 7 days. And so I'm going to try to find a couple that I will link down below based on like how many days it is. I'll link like a 7-day, a 21-day, and like a 30-day or something. But I followed kind of like my own schedule. I kind of like took a bunch of what I saw people were doing and kind of just mixed it up and did it in a way that worked for me a couple months back. I will link the video that I specifically did. It's called Winterizing Your Home if you want to watch that. But I kind of walk through that process. But if you haven't done this, it's so important too, because if you are not starting from a good place, it's going to constantly feel like you're catching up. And so over the next month, every day, just set a timer. Like even your kitchen, you can spend an entire week in your kitchen, but once a day, spend 10 to 15 minutes going through a cabinet and decluttering. Decluttering, I think, is such an important piece of managing the home. And if you're not constantly decluttering, you're constantly going to be organizing pieces and, dare I say, junk, because if you think of every single item as in your home as a job, then you find yourself with 200,000 jobs versus 100,000 jobs. And it still seems like a lot, but it makes such a big difference. If you are also in a season of life with littles and a lot going on, visually decluttering my space and minimizing my decor has made my day-to-day tasks so much easier. I keep minimal pillows, minimal vases, and minimal decor in areas so that if my kids do want to play with my decor, it's not a big deal and I don't have things everywhere. Where in my previous home, I had decor everywhere and I was cleaning decor and toys and all of this and that, and it was just very overwhelming. I also try to minimize the visual decor by having baskets everywhere. I have a basket on my stairs that is for items that need to go upstairs. I have a basket for my fruit. I have a basket for my potatoes and squash and for the diapers and for the remote. I have a basket basically for everything so that everything has a home. There are so many things around our house that may feel like they don't have homes. Throw it in a basket, boom, it's got a home. If it has a home, it has somewhere to go. If it doesn't have a home, it's just going to be sitting on top. And so even down to like books that you read every day. I have my Bibles in the corner. It makes sense to have it right here. I have my pens here too. It's all in a basket. The kids' baskets or their books are in this area too. So when I sit and do my Bible reading, they can do their Bible reading too. It just makes sense. It's not overcomplicated. The biggest thing that I have done, and this is my third point for you, is to create a donation bin that is large and somewhere that you can easily access For me, it's in my garage. It's where I currently have space. Anything that I want to donate that I find throughout the day gets thrown into this basket. This basket gets cleared out maybe once a month, maybe a few times more, and then a return box. Yes, 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 yes. Do you have something to return to a friend? Do you have something to return to UPS? Something didn't fit and you got to return it? Put it in the return box. Having this has been a game changer because, again, now things in my home that don't want to be in my home or don't need to be in my home anymore have a temporary home. So we're not shoving it in a random closet. We're not shoving it above the fridge or like some random spot that we end up losing it, can't find it, need to return it. Oh no, we missed the return time. Oh no, now I have to keep this. Great. I'm telling you, these 2 bins have been a game changer. I don't have a clip of it, but I also made a smaller bin for both of my kids' bedrooms that are labeled too small. Whenever my older toddlers are getting dressed and a t-shirt, a skirt, something, whatever is too small, they know to throw it in that bin. My older kids do that on their own, which is amazing, but my baby, anytime I'm changing her and I'm squeezing her into a PJ, doesn't fit anymore. Instead of throwing it back into the drawer and having more work for me later when I go to rotate her clothes, I just throw it into this too small bin. Then I collect it once a month, see if I'm going to keep it, see if I'm going to donate it, hand it to a friend, and we're moving on. My next point is to work smarter, not harder. I think this might be my word/phrase of the year when it comes to my home, because I find myself saying that really frequently lately. But if you have kids and if you have a playroom and they're constantly playing, you don't have to clean up the playroom 20 times a day. Maybe 4 is sufficient. And maybe you have a really busy day and there's a lot going on. And so instead of working harder and constantly picking up, work smarter. Give yourself lulls and breaks during the day. I love to take my kids out in the afternoon, and so I personally prefer to do a really quick pickup. I set a timer for 5 minutes, the kids included, and we all kind of pick up the home so that when we come back from our outing and I have to put some kids down and we're doing quiet time, I can actually enjoy that quiet time instead of me having to spend that time cleaning. Some days, especially as I'm getting further along into this pregnancy, I don't really like to sit on the floor and pick up toys. My kids are normally really good about this, but they really enjoyed the little situation they had going here and were really proud of it. But I wanted to clean it up before my dogs started eating their animals. So I was sitting down and cleaning it through. But the day prior to that, I had left the playroom messy pretty much all afternoon, and then 30 minutes prior to my husband coming home, I did a quick little house reset. So doing 2 or 3 quick house resets instead of like a constant state of picking up is working smarter and not harder. My next point is to remember your why. I think it's always so sobering to remember why we're doing what we're doing, or else we're going to be in a constant state of frustration or feeling lack of direction and making it feel very useless. And I love the book of Proverbs, specifically Proverbs 31. I know you probably hear a lot of people talk about her, but she was just a great analogy and example of what it can look like. And I was just reading it the other day, and Proverbs 31:27 specifically really stuck out to me. And it says that she watches over the ways of her household and she doesn't eat the bread of idleness. And I think I could do an entire video talking about idleness. I've really been praying into this topic because I don't feel like it's talked about enough. But idleness is something that can be poisonous and so disruptive to a household. And so I just love that it was encouraging and just saying that she watches over the ways of her household and she doesn't sit and idle. I think we set up ourselves sometimes for failure because we're not establishing routines. We're not treating our house like a business. And so we often find ourselves so overwhelmed to the point that we idle because we just don't even know where to start. And so remember your why. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? Or why isn't it important to me? What can I cut out that I don't want to be doing? Or my kids are really little. I just had a baby. I don't care to take care of the home right now. Like, what season are you in? Establish that. And then my last point is to give yourself a rest day where you have 0 housework, 0 cleaning, and the house does get to the state that it just naturally would. We started doing our Sabbaths. I'll link a video down below where I kind of explain what we do. But since taking these rest days, I am so much more motivated and find so much more enjoyment and fulfillment in cleaning the home, knowing that I have at least one day of fully resting, knowing that I have one full day that I don't have to touch the laundry. And when I do come back to it, I am so refreshed and so encouraged. I really do think I should do a updated Sabbath video, because when I did ours, it was over the summer. So let me know if you guys want me to kind of re-update that. I can totally do it, but establish a day of rest for your household. My husband chose Saturdays for us, so we do Friday from sundown to Saturday sundown, and it's beautiful. And it's changed the way that I care for my home. It's changed the way that I view things. It's changed a lot. So we all need rest, every single one of us. So make a rest day, and I pray that this helps your home work for you instead of you working for your home. Be best, you guys.